Right, welcome to the APAC EMEA community meeting for Fluent. Right, let me dig out this one. That's not what you guys want to see, but there we are. So I brought this up a few weeks back, saying maybe we should have a more friendly time zone for people who can't make it. So I've been volunteered to lead this one instead of Anurag. So today we'll go over a little bit of the 1.9 release stuff, any other community things I can think of, which is not many at the moment. And then Dennis is going to do a demo. Not entirely sure what, Dennis. What exactly are you going to demo?
How I made Fluent Bit work with Varnish, which is less than trivial.
Okay. Yeah, I saw Varnish. I wasn't sure if that was like a tool or like you were applying Varnish to it. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll start with the 1.9 release update. So that should be imminent. Lucaris can probably dive into the details, but I think we're waiting on. There's some last minute changes to go in just to resolve a couple of minor things. I think there might be is it the hotel input as well that's looking to go into 1.9 as well. But otherwise we've cut 4 RCs and everything seems good at the moment. So hopefully it won't be too long. Jose, do you want to touch on anything there?
Okay. So yeah, as you said, we are waiting on the on some last minute fixes there, and we are trying to have a very stable release of it. As you said, we are still working on open telemetry, but we have tagged the release candidate number 4 for 1.9. I'm not sure if we mentioned this in the past community call, but we are releasing release candidates starting in 1.9. So if anyone in the community wants to test them, make sure you go to GitHub discussions and look into that post where we are announcing these new release candidates.
There we are.
Yep. Yeah.
And you need to add one for RC4.
Yeah, it's pretty new. Yeah, it's a couple hours old. So yeah, we need to update on that.
I have a question on that, if I may.
Sure.
The OpenTelemetry output plugin, is it for OpenTelemetry logs, metrics, or traces?
It's still for logs and metrics, I think, but traces is something that we're working on. I'm not sure if it will be out now, but yeah, it's something that is in the roadmap. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying, I don't think traces are included in the initial release.
Okay, because that for me is the thing that keep the one thing that we're not shoving through Fluent Bit yet is some logs where we have a homegrown logging daemon that generates traces based on log data. I was planning to implement something in Fluent Bit myself, but if you guys are already doing that, thumbs up.
Yeah. It is on the roadmap, and we are very excited to work on that, but still not ready for release. Yeah. And what we have new in there, we have Engine Plus metrics, for example, in the plugin side. A Windows metric collector that we have seen some community asking for that. The Kafka input is also going 1.9. The OpenSearch output, this is an initial implementation of the OpenSearch output plugin. As you may know, we have a partnership with Amazon. So this is something that we're doing as part of this partnership. And also contributions from the community, the Apache Skywalking, and can't remember anyone. Where groundbreaking, I think, is the YAML support in 1.9.
There's initial YAML. Yeah, so the idea with the YAML support is using the config file in YAML format. it's still, I think there's still some work to do in that, but it's the intention is to deliver that, isn't it? I think the other community edition contribution was there was a Nightfall plugin, something like that. I think that for like log sanitization,
Oh yeah.
which might be useful. And the other big one that Eduardo mentioned the other day was the default workers setting, which I think has been tested quite a bit by AWS. Setting some default workers for the plugins by default now, just to improve the performance. It sounds like it'd be pretty good, particularly for something like the default deployments on Kubernetes. I know I've seen questions and seen stuff where you set the CPU constraints for your pod, but actually it doesn't end up actually using them because it's all bound to a single worker. So yeah, hopefully that will be quite useful. But yeah, they're all there. People can have a quick look, and hopefully it'll be out soon. I don't think there's much else on the community side to cover. Obviously, FluentCon EU's coming up. The schedule hopefully will be announced soon for that. I'll be there in person, doing KubeCon as well. I think Anurag and Eduardo will be too, so feel free to pop along. What else? I don't think there's much else on the community side. Let me just see if Anurag told me anything else to mention. No, that's pretty much it. So we'll go on to you, Dennis.
Okay. If you would.
Just one clarification on the default workers.
Yeah.
It's something that is actually part of the latest 1.8 release as well. So
okay, cool. That's good to know. Right, I'll hand it over to you, Dennis.
Thank you. Let's see if I can share my screen appropriately.
You should have permissions. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. That's shared. So I am on a live Varnish server. I don't know if you're familiar with Varnish.
No, do you want to just do a
so
quick...
Varnish is a proxy server. We use it for caching anonymous requests. Because as you can imagine, at GitHub we get a lot of anonymous requests. And a little bit of caching helps a lot there. Varnish, however, is a bit difficult when it comes to logging because it does not log. It keeps basically its log in a shared memory buffer, and there is a tool called Varnish NCSA, which you need to run, that reads that memory buffer and could then do things with it. Now, most people would write it to a file and have Fluent read it, but that causes a lot of disk overhead, and the disk we'd like to use for the cache. So I made Fluent actually read the thing directly. So I'll do quick output of this is what Varnish NCSA would look like if you just run it. This is on a live server, and it's basically you get a tail of your access logs, and this is not any kind of sensitive data. This is all public, and this is all anonymous requests. So what I've added to FluentBit is a new input called where is it here? Called coproc, which runs a process as a kind of sidecar. It just runs another program along with it, and it reads the standard out of that process. It is different from the exec input, because exec waits for a application to finish and then spits the log, and then absorbs its logs. This actually runs side by side. So if you look at systemctl, yeah.
Does it run in the container as well? Because exec doesn't work in the container.
This is only run under systemd in on normal hardware. This does not run in a kube cluster. At least I haven't tried it in a kube cluster. But as you can see in the systemctl output, you'll see that Fluent is running, and it's running Varnish NCSA. And we told Varnish NCSA to spit its output in a specific format, so we can actually parse it as standard log format. And this is how it would look. Yep.
So it's basically running another process and consuming its...
Exactly, it's consuming its data. It's not rocket science, but it's something that we had with syslog-ng, we lost with FluentBit, so I've added it to FluentBit, and it'll end up in a PR sometime soon. And here's a quick demo of what it actually looks like with the FluentBit standard out plugin.
Cool.
Okay, that is it.
Yeah, that's quite good. So it's going to go in a PR.
That's going to go in a PR, yeah. I need to make sure that... well, I know it works because we've been running this for, I think, close to 3 months now.
Yeah.
So it works. It doesn't crash. but I want to make sure it meets the standards of contributions.
Yeah, no, it sounds pretty good. I mean, yeah, I'd be quite keen to. I've definitely had some use cases for that in the past, so it'd be quite useful to have it, because I think I ended up doing it in Golang, and I had a Golang watcher anyway, so I was just executing the other stuff through that rather than through this. And yeah, if it does work in a container as well, that'd be quite useful, because yeah, the exec stuff's unfortunate because it uses the shell to do it, and the shell's not available. That's a bit of a pain.
It uses the shell as well, so it won't work by default, but it could be adapted to it.
Yeah, okay, that'll be useful. Cool, that sounds good. Let me go back to, is there other stuff you wanted to cover?
No, that was all. It's like, hey, there's a meeting, and this thing we're now confident enough in that it will be in a PR, so let's demo it.
Yeah, sounds good. Anything else you want to cover, talk about, discuss? If not, I'll bring it to an end.
Yeah, nothing on my side.
Cool. Thanks, guys. And hopefully catch more people for the next one.
Yeah.
You're
Bye,
right.
guys.
All right.
Have a good one.